Hello YouTube and welcome to a new series on the channel here today. Today we're going to be watching the first episode of Mushi-Shi. Very excited to be jumping into something new here, something I've heard a lot of good things about, albeit I don't know much about it. So I guess we'll seek to rectify that here today. It's going to be a very effective blind reaction in that regard. I've got no clue. A lot of blind speculation. Let's go. Anyway, why am I watching Mushi-Shi? It won a poll. I run polls on the channel. Here are the results of said poll. The kind of general theme was shows from the 2000s, even though there's one there that's not from the 2000s. Anyway, I tried. And Mushi-Shi came out on top. It was fairly close. It kind of ran away with it in the end, but I digress. So, what do I do before I start any show? I pop on over to ANN and I have a look who made it, of course. And I also have some Jisho links up with the title, so I'm going to look at some of the kanji there and try to go from there too. I've also got one key visual from Season 1, which I'll have a look at. It'll be used to frame a few things as well, and I'll talk about general expectations, what I know about the show already. Not much, and from there we'll jump in episode 1. After that we'll come back for a little bit of discussion on it. I like to go pretty in depth. If you've seen the channel before and some of my series there, the videos tend to balloon in length because I like to talk about this stuff. I love to yap, and hopefully this gives me the platform to do so, especially on an episode 1. Again, it's, you know, you're setting the expectations of what the rest of the thing's going to be. Of course I'm going to yap a little bit. Anyway, first things first, ANN, Mushi-Shi everybody, TV, very cool. One thing I noticed immediately was this, it was hard to kind of miss it. We're going to get unique ending songs each and every time, mostly from the same artist, Matsuda Toshio? Sure. Is that the same person that's done the music down here? Yes. Just the other way around, sure. So again, I was like, okay, are these going to be vocal tracks? Are these going to be instrumental? Probably instrumental from that. Okay, yeah. And I mean, it's a weird spot to start, but I might as well, right? Mostly because of it's one of my main expectations about the show. I think it has a really good soundtrack. At least I've seen, like, Mushi-Shi music compilation to study to, and that kind of thing on YouTube. That normally implies that stuff's pretty good. I don't know, good soundtrack, I guess. We're hoping. Scrolling down here to the credits, I can't see anything that I'm particularly fully familiar with. I have seen some Naruto, and I remember the music being pretty good. Playing in a lot of traditional areas, traditional instrumentation generally. I don't think I've seen anything else that he's done. Excel Saga's a fun credit. Yeah, I haven't seen anything else here. But again, I hear the music's good, so looking forward to that. Anyway, back on track. Series composition and direction by Hiroshi Nagahama. Now, this is a big old list, and what I like to do when I have a big old list is do this. Direct. Sure. Then we can see what he directed. Okay, Detroit Metal City. Very cool. Flowers of Evil. Yeah, sick. Okay. All of Mushi-Shi, so we're not switching up directors, really. I don't know whatever the hell the reflection is, but cool. Now that's the one I'm looking for. Revolutionary Girl Lieutenant, everybody. Yeah, I guess I would consider it my favorite show now. Definitely, yeah. It's that and K-On! They're kind of very different from each other, and I like them for very different reasons, but I love Utena. I've reacted to Utena on the channel. I thought it was just a wonderful time. So what a show. What a credit. If I was to look in here and see the animation direction episodes, I remember 12 being good. That's the end of kind of the first core there. 33 is definitely an episode for sure. I can't say I remember 2 nor 25 off the top of my head, but they're all Utena episodes, so they're all good. That's my 2 cents. Again, any work on Utena is good work, and yeah. Shoutouts to Ikuhara. I don't know. I just wanted to. Uzumaki. So this thing came out this year? I think it was this year. This year or last year. And it had a lot of hype behind it. Junji Ito adaptation, you know, it looked like it was going to be the goods. And then apparently, I haven't seen it, but it dropped the ball. So my understanding is that episode 1's the good episode. So, anything? Maybe? I don't know. But you'll see kind of Uzumaki as a kind of common credit through a lot of the people here. So that's quite disappointing because I know that Mushi-Shi is quite good, and if, again, we had a lot of the same staff there, and I can't imagine it was the staff's fault. Yeah, anyway. That's a whole other can of worms, of course. Next up here, Takeshi Waki, who is the art director on the series. Now, this one's super weird. I don't think I've seen a single thing here. I think Night on the Galactic Railroad's a cool credit, but that's only background art. Samurai Champloo, eh? I guess I could see some art style similarities there. Any work on One Piece is probably pretty good too. There's one other one here, yes. Mobile Suit Gundam 0080, I don't know what you said. War in the Pocket. Apparently it's one of the good ones. If you're doing the art direction there on something that is pretty acclaimed, big deal is Gundam. You're probably doing something right. I guess, yeah, that's talking to general expectations going into this is, I think it's like pretty slow, pretty like, thoughtful, good kind of aesthetics to it, good art, good animation, good music, that kind of thing. I spoke about this when I was doing the poll as well. Iyashike as kind of a genre there as well, a soft genre maybe for it. And yeah, we'll get into a few of my like, oh, what is this thing about thing when we get into the kind of kanji here for it too. Last credit I have here, I could probably dive into a few more of these names if I'm honest. I did see Takuya Igarashi, who is a name I do know, working closely with Yoji Anikido on Bungo Stray Dogs, as well as a couple of other Ikuhara adjacent things too. All those good names, Utena names, of course. And again, I'm sure I'm missing somebody that's really important here too. Like, that's a lot of like good, talented people working on this thing, man. Like, holy shit. Anyway, the last one I wanted to highlight was animation director, who is Yoshihiko Umakoshi. There you go. I can speak after all. Is this the new Baki? Is this the new Baki? No, it's an older Baki. Yeah, it's an older Baki. Okay. The new Baki's crazy. That's craziness. Anyway, what else do we have here? Dragon Ball Z. Pretty cool. Fullmetal Alchemist. Sure. Bit of Precure. Love that. A lot of Precure, actually. Diebuster Gunbuster. Hyoso Giga. I think I saw Kill la Kill. True. JoJo's. Yeah, kind of old JoJo's as well as new JoJo's. Okay, sure. More Gundam. We love Gundam, folks. I guess this is the big one. Look at all those Hero Arca credits, man. Holy shit. Even if character design is kind of a fake credit, considering, like Horikoshi's doing the character designs there. But anyway, you know what I mean. Sure. He's getting work. I don't know. I'm pretty charitable to Hero Arca. I still think it's pretty good. Hey, Penguin Drum. We like Penguin Drum. Penny and Stocking. One Piece. Yeah, lots of good stuff here. More Precure. Symphogear. Hey, Symphogear. Precure. I don't know, this guy seems pretty good. It's a bit all over the place. You saw that Uzumaki credit there again, too. Yeah, but again, I hear a lot about the aesthetics of this series, so I wanted to do a deep dive on these people. As always, they seem broadly pretty competent. I don't think you could get into any of these roles and have a show this acclaimed if you weren't already really good at what you do. I guess while we're here, we'll talk about Artland briefly, who is the animation studio behind this. Unfortunately, they're not a thing anymore, I don't think. Very, very cool. It's kind of very weird. So I was looking at this before. It's Mushi-Shi. It's Katekyo Hitman Reborn, which I have heard about. And then it's kind of like a bunch of bullshit. Gunslinger Girl I have heard about too, but what the fuck is a Milky Holmes? And then you scroll down here and you just see more and more tits and ass. So what is this? Could somebody explain here? Senran Kagura? I don't know, man. But sure, whatever, go off. So yes, that whole situation there confuses me a little bit. But either way, Jisho. Right, so that's Mushi-Shi. Those two characters there. And I've kind of split them up piecemeal, one by one. Now again, I'm no Japanese expert, don't at me. But this looks like, it's like the character for Insect, like a fucking bunch of times. It's like that's also Insect. And then there's 3. So what does that mean? I don't know, man. Bug, sure, bug guy. Lots of bugs. I don't know, we'll get the key visual up here in a second, and it looks like he's in the forest. There would be bugs around. I don't know. And yeah, this one's pretty easy. Shi for teacher, master, mentor, bug master, bug teacher, bug sensei, something like that. That's why you'll see the dash in Mushi-Shi. It's like Mushi-Shi, the master of the bugs. Something like that. Now, I thought it was like yokai or something. That was my expectation going in. Maybe they are like bug yokai or something. Or maybe I've just got a wrong expectation about the show. I don't know. But anyway, that's my expectation based on the title, I guess, as well. Over here now we have a key visual. This is the one on Mal. I don't know if it's going to be the one all the time, but it's the one I'm looking at. Look at this. Mushi-Shi. I can read that. Very cool. This is the guy. This is Mr. Mushi-Shi himself. I don't know. We'll get a name, surely. Tree. Gray sky. I don't know. There's not much to say here. I don't even know why I really brought it up. This is a little bit more of a kind of ghostly looking tree in the background. Potentially some dual world stuff going on. Like there's one world that looks like this and there's another world that looks like this. I don't know if that's anything. Sure. He seems like a chill guy. Pretty low-key. I like the hair over the eye. Very 2000s. Very, very cool. Character design-wise, time period would be an interesting one too. Is this like a back-in-the-day kind of thing? Based on some of the kind of fashion, you would imagine it's a little bit later. It's not like way back in the day type stuff. But he's giving like lone drifter, lone wanderer type of vibe. I don't know, expert, potentially a bug master of sorts. Again, that's the expectation going in. I don't know if it's going to be entirely accurate, and that's what makes it kind of fun. We'll try to be hitting 2 episodes a week from here, but this week we're just doing the one, just kind of getting our sea legs and whatnot. If you wanted to watch the next 2 episodes right away, I do have a Patreon, so it is linked in the description below. It is $6 a month. You give me the money, you get the episodes 1 week early, you also get some special Discord privileges, as well as double the votes in whatever polls I do. So yeah, if you're a big Mushi-Shi guy, consider it. Just click on the link, see what you reckon. That'd do me a big favor. And just a quick shout out to the people that have supported. I have Mickey Babbers, AF, AJ, Bananarama Hamadama-sama, BD422, Capella, Chubba Copley, Dapper Dwarf, Ed, Fancy Question Mark, Fleur Nightingale, Fruit, Gloria and Tenebrae, Glyke, Greybeard, Guanal, Gus N, Hans Peter, I'm Modly Anxious, Ika, Iwayuru, Yako Yavanen, Jummy Boo, Joran, Kasogtha, Kelvin, Clem, Nosta, Kot Begemot, Lick H, Lou, Marco-san, Miru, Mistake L Chen, Molly Weinberger, Mr. Maniacs, Aussie, Parnick, Pencil Sharp 333, Ron Lad BNK, St. Lily, Sam1373, Skeleton, Tentacle Member, Waifu Overdose, Without a Net, Akumancer, Binshi, Voodoo Chili, Aidan O'Brien, and Zach. Thank you to everybody for giving me money. I enjoy the money, and yeah, let's dive into this thing. Again, really unsure what to expect. It's a show from the 2000s, it's pretty highly regarded. Let's dive in here. Rightio, I have episode 1 of Mushi-Shi up there ready to go. 23 minutes and 42 seconds on this one, so sync up accordingly with your own copy. Now, talking about copies, I have the Psych set. If you go to Nya and type in Psych, that's the set that I have. However, if I pop over here as well, I'll show you this. So, I am doing the sub. Very cool. The Japanese audio. Great. Sorry to any dub heads, but that's just the way it's going to go. And yeah, I'm using the TLACATLC 6 full subtitles on the recommendation of somebody on the Discord. Again, if you like the other one better for some kind of reason, I don't know. I'm going to have a Discord channel about it, talk about it. Sure. I'm happy enough to change whatever and whenever and that kind of side of it. Anyway, if you don't want to deal with any of that stuff, there is a picture-in-picture version in the description below for your viewing pleasure. And either way, let's give this thing a 3, 2, 1. Radio, 3, 2, 1, go. Indeed. Scroll. Okay. Bugs. I see. A lot of bugs. Music. English lyrics. It's giving me High Bunny Renmei too, which I really liked. Beautiful. It's giving me Sufjan Stevens a little bit. Probably should listen to a little bit more of that kind of music. Background art's gorgeous. Very green. Yep. Mm-hmm. Someone. Who is talking? The Mushi? I don't fucking know. Saru? I don't think so. It is very green. I'll give you that. The green seat. Seat is interesting. Interesting. Who is you? Okay. What is happening? Okay, so maybe you've been told to come here? Okay, you can see it. That was my next question. Don't hurt it now. Or maybe you were just passing by. Oh no, okay. Hang on. Ginko-san. Ginko. Okay. Well, I'm already here. It is hubris. But I get the feeling you're not doing it on purpose. It's your left hand, okay. He caught on. Konbanwa? Yeah, you're very isolated. Okay. Yeah, it seems kind of lonely, no? 4 years ago? How old are you? Well, I mean, it's a weird ability, yeah, but like, I don't know. What happened to your parents? What is it? Huh. Appeared out of nowhere. Yeah, they're just chill little dudes. Well, probably. It's probably connected. But I don't... You think it's like a punishment or a curse or something? I don't think something's wrong with you. I think you're special. Right? Okay. Okay, so you've never heard that. Okay. Yeah. Right in that heart. Green matter. Interesting. Yeah, so what dictates if somebody's able to see them or not? It's hard to describe. Yeah, so then she thinks something must be wrong with you, right? Yeah, again, just because she doesn't know. I mean, she's doing nothing wrong, she's just concerned, but you gotta trust your gut a little bit. Hence why she requested Ginko and he didn't want him. Gotcha. Oh, child. Take on the form of humans. That looked like a little girl. Oh, that's a cool, like, lantern. Hello. Like that edit. Hello. Why you... Why do you hate me? Get smoked. Alright, he's kind of cool. He's got aura, I think. Alright, what is that? Green. You don't own this house. Where's your name on the deed? Okay. Explain? How do you know? Okay. Ooh. Okay. I was thinking mother. So she's somewhere fucking halfway up the shoulder or something in our little metaphor before. Explain. Mm-hmm. Hmm. Ooh. Interesting. Music's really good. Well, again, you have the ability to see them, right? So now you would be able to see her too. Like, fully. If that makes sense. Well, it's fucking green, and it looks like a sake cup. Saw. Little peeping Tom. Green. Very spiritual. Alright. He's feeling it. Sick. That was a really cool piece of animation, too. Sick. Oh, and the wind. Piss. Just kind of see half, yeah. Alright, now we're finally completing the ritual. Yeah, I guess he didn't really explain that part. Wait, am I allowed to? Am I of age? Is she of age? So we get the police out here. Oh, okay. Yep, sure. So she could see them back in the day too. And then, yeah, she's in line now. That's kind of scary. I just got pulled along for the ride. Okay. Dono. I'm drinking pure light? Green. Okay. Yeah, but what happened then? The crow! What is the crow? Haibane Renmei. Okay, the crow just fucked us up. Interesting. I forgot the premise was that the grandson was seeing this memory. Indeed. And then he's fucking drunk. Yeah, what do you want? Yeah, it's green. Life. Get the feeling he's a bit of a wanderer. Yeah, job done, fixed. I did the thing. Good old Irish goodbye. He took your shit. He swiped. Okay. Awesome. Felt like a little movie. Felt very theatrical. And self-contained, obviously. Yeah, so I guess that's a structure thing. Probably each of these are going to be pretty kind of vignette-y, like kind of like this expert goes and visits XYZ and we do an episode about that. And again, this one seems largely proof of concept, kind of introducing you to a few things about the world, such as Corky and Mushi, which I believe are concepts that'll probably continue, considering it's called Mushi-Shi. Yeah, I mean, I would probably need to. It's one of these shows where I don't think you need to follow logical sense for it. I feel like it's a lot more what you take out of it, and a lot more kind of sparse, and it lets you think about it, rather than being a detailsy kind of show. Very pretty, and the music was awesome. So, like again, 2 thumbs up. Very very into this. Imagine that's next episode. Yeah, we'll come back for a little bit of analysis on that one, and just again, it'll be a weird one to talk about. It's not very like moment to moment. It's not really an analysis-y kind of show in that way. It's more again what you take out of it and what all the concepts mean. Very spiritual. Yeah, no, it'll be interesting. I'll see what I'll make of it. And so that was episode 1 of Mushi-Shi. What did I think? Very, very good. My prevailing overall thought, kind of divorced from the show itself, is that they, again, just don't make shows like this anymore, like at all, that are this slow, that respect kind of my attention span, for lack of a better term. Even something, again, I really liked. I was thinking a lot about Freerun during this show. I don't know why, it just was. Freerun... Again, Freerun's very good, obviously, but it's just so different editing-wise. Like, pace of dialogue, pace of edit, pace of, like, all that kind of stuff. It's a different kettle of fish. They really, again, don't make them like this anymore. They just don't. It was, again, I mentioned Haibane Renmei by name. Both these kind of 2000s shows, very spiritual. I guess Haibane Renmei has a little bit more of a mystery going on there. Like, again, it's intriguing from the lack of concrete explanation we've actually just had to this point. And I have that other separate of, like, a language barrier, a cultural barrier there as well. So, again, a lot of the reaction itself was very quiet, and me just kind of just soaking it in, getting information, that kind of thing. Let's get some imagery here, too. I don't know, what's a good image? That's a good image. Somewhere there, sure. Kind of the nuts and bolts of it, as I said, are kind of less important than, how it made me feel, how I feel kind of after it. Like, I feel very calm. Like, and again, if that's the intention, that I feel like it's succeeded. I got a little bit confused regarding some of the details. Kind of, again, there's the split there for the grandma. I'm imagining that kind of we split, half goes spirit, half goes physical. The physical one plays out like it should, but kind of, again, we're watching over the grandson still, but it feels like there's something missing. She can't quite comprehend that side. She's lost that spiritual side to herself. She's kind of like half a person. She's not like she used to be. Now, again, she couldn't see the Mushi, right? She just didn't really understand. All that she understood was more that she needed to take care of the grandson. And then I think the spiritual side over here has kind of always been kind of a spirit. And even 4 years post the grandmother's death, she's still kind of watching over him and doing that kind of thing, even though, again, because she's not fully Mushi, the grandson can't see her. I believe that's how it's working. And then again, Ginko, I believe his name was, is the person that, again, helps that to become whole again, the connection there. The motivation was one that threw me initially as well. There's a lot of stuff there regarding, conceal your power, don't use it, don't interact with society, kind of stay in isolation. And, there's no way to reconcile this with meeting other people and experiencing the world. Now, again, my brain automatically goes, hey, that's the wrong moral. We shouldn't do that. We should kind of try to integrate. We should try to connect, all that kind of stuff. But it seems like, again, he's almost like a chosen one, and we're more respecting the wishes of the Mushi, which were more to the effect of, hey, actually keep him in isolation. He's pretty important to us. He's almost... as he writes, he creates Mushi. It's a lot of stuff about the creation of life and kind of the life juice or whatever we called it. It had a name. So it seems like, again, he has importance to that side. So again, it's almost like, yeah, we've followed the directive of the Mushi there before, rather than integrating him with society and focusing on humanity. Again, it's putting almost like an equal footing between Mushi and humanity in my mind. Again, because he doesn't need to interact with other people because he almost has his little Mushi friends, and he has an importance over here, and he has his grandmother with him. He's going to watch over him. Because again, that's the meaning of the very end of the episode here, where we're like, okay, and then I never heard from him again. And again, that's a happy ending, apparently. Like, we never heard his ability, we never heard nothing. He just lived in isolation with his Mushi, writing stuff down, chilling with grandma. And, yeah, again, very much not the moral you would expect, generally. But again, it's less, again, emphasizing humans and more emphasizing the Mushi. Which, again, I think is his tone setter for the rest of the show, and something we're probably going to have to consider. Mushi writes in all of this, I guess. Ginko's cool. He has aura. I like that he's a little bit mischievous. Like, he's just kind of sneaking around at night. He's got the smoke thing going on when he kind of, Renzu was her name, the grandmother. When he kind of captures her, he's kind of got a bit of trickster energy to him. I like the peeping Tom stuff. He's not just a straight up and down kind of guy. He's pretty chill. He knows his stuff. And he likes to joke every now and again. It's hitting that balance pretty well. And again, just overall kind of aesthetic stuff. Obviously, the show's just gorgeous. It's the 2000s, so obviously we're doing less digital animation. I don't even think it was really much of an option back then, really. Like, the backgrounds feel painted. This feels like it was drawn by somebody. It's just, it's very, very good. Character designs on the Mushis are quite pronounced as well. I really liked these guys in the bed sheets. And again, I will watch through the episode again, but I'm kind of getting out a lot of overall thoughts in the here and now, because again, it's less information revealing. It's less pause and talk about what something means, and more, hey, let's take it in the macro, in the whole, right? So I'm kind of jumping around here, but I will go back through. The crow. What do we think about the crow, chat? So again, we kind of got the liquid of life or whatever, the gold, the light and the darkness, the essence of life, whatever we call it, and kind of this whole process with the liquid and everything is kind of interrupted by like a crow. So you like start to kind of drink. So what is the crow's obviously, again, I'm trying to think of this in the literal. What is the crow? Did a crow just happen by and then ruin everything? The same way that, again, Mushi are like bugs or whatever. Crows and birds would eat bugs. That's like a predator-prey relationship. But again, I'm bearing the lead. Obviously, crows also mean death. So death would be the opposite of life. You know, does that mean anything? But that's also just food chain stuff, and that's the circle of life as well, in a lot of ways. So, yeah. So it feels like, and what would have happened if she completed this process in the here and now? So say she completes the process. Is she just full Mushi? And she dies in the physical world, and then 31 years later... No, but 31 years later, she couldn't have even had a grandson if she just fucking died. So, what gives? Would she have become full Mushi? Would there not have been the split? Because if so, then the crow's necessary. And then that's kind of deep, too. Yo, this thing's kind of cool. I also like these guys. They're just... the little designs, they're quite cute. Anyway, that's big picture stuff. I'm imagining these concepts. Again, I should get a word for it. The life essence. Corky and kind of as life liquid and death as kind of concepts. And Mushi and the kind of the metaphor of like the hand to the heart. That's kind of cool too. I feel like all of these are integral concepts that we should keep in mind going forward for sure. I feel like I've already talked about this a little bit, but again, structurally, based on one episode, maybe again we do mini arcs and stuff later on, it seems like it's like episodic. So most episodes will be self-contained, we'll meet new characters and we'll move from there. In that way, also kind of giving me Katana Gatari, which is a cool comparison too. But again, there was a larger story also going on in Katana Gatari too. Anyway, I feel like I'm rambling. Let's go back to the start here. We'll get our bearings again and reload. Kind of before we jump into the episode proper, we have it delineated here as an avant. I would just say it's like a little cool intro. I wouldn't be surprised if this plays before more than one episode. Like, this is kind of like the introduction to what this kind of world is about, the show, that kind of thing. It was a very good tone setter. Really inside baseball, nerdy stuff early. The fade in, and then a pretty solid, like, 1 or 2 second pause before dialogue starts was brilliant. Like, again, it was automatically like, okay, here's the pace we're going to be at. I really enjoyed it. They are kept at a distance, coarse and mysterious. They seem to be completely different from the flora and fauna that are familiar to us. This group of strange-looking creatures has inflicted fear onto humans since long past, and have come to be called Mushi. And then the fade out there, the sub kind of stays for a little minute before we move into an opening type sequence. Now again, is this our opening? Is this our... Because it's pretty chill again, like, I don't know. Again, Haibane Renmei vibes, I keep saying it. Yeah. Fear is interesting. I didn't really pick that up. Again, Ginko is somebody who is so very much not scared of them, and Shinra was his name, was it? Yes, it was Shinra. He doesn't seem scared of them too, because he's come to know them for a very long time. There was, I guess, that part where he was drawing on the wall, and the thing that came out looked pretty fucking scary. I don't know, will we move into sequences later on where people, again, know less and less about Mushi and are a little bit more scared of them? I forgot the English lyrics, too. Yeah, let's run through these lyrics once quickly. I walked 10,000 miles to see you, and every gasp of breath I grabbed at just to find you. And every single step of the way, every single night and day, I searched for you through sandstorms and hazy dawns. I reached for you. Now again, who is the second person in the lyrics there? Who are we searching for? You know, through deserts and whatever he said. Mushi? As a concept? Am I searching for Mushi? Is this the kind of show that will give subtle hints, backstory stuff for Ginko as we continue? Because is he on a journey? He seemingly came out here. No, I need to get my details right. I don't feel like he was requested. I feel like that's initially what I thought, but I don't know anymore. Yeah, I felt like the grandmother requested him, but that's not what happened in the part that I just watched. I guess we're about to watch it again, but he just knew. So how did he know? And why did he come? That's a weird thing. What's telling him to do so? Other than just, like, spiritual stuff. I don't know. Again, what's his backstory? Is that something we should even be worried about? I don't know. Not much else to say about the opening overall. It's very green, which is seemingly the basis for a lot of the color palette of this show. It's interesting that, again, on that key visual that I saw, we saw a dead tree. Interesting. In the start of the episode, we hear some dialogue. Someone's coming. Someone strange is coming. Sounds an awful lot like the grandmother. Again, we can't quite see her yet, but she's kind of just watching over him, watching the perimeter, seeing if anybody's showing up. Again, she's always been very protective of him for the reasons we go into in the episode. I like that, again, the audience, kind of unbeknownst to us at the time, this was always her. At least that's my interpretation here at the moment. Yeah, very much so, because we see this. And again, I'm like, oh, that's a butterfly or something. No, we can very clearly see it's part of her kimono or whatever she was wearing. Her dress. And Ginko was kind of dumbfounded. He's like, what the fuck was that? Because he can kind of sense them and see them, but he didn't get a good look. I guess he wasn't switched on at the time. Or maybe he's teasing, because then he says, oh, it might have been a monkey or somebody. Like, I don't know. Again, if she's hearing me and that kind of thing, maybe he's playing silly buggers. The green that surrounds me is extraordinarily vibrant. Again, we'll go into it. It's all nice setup stuff, you know. And then the titles, this is all very classy too. Once in a blue moon, you will find people that have a predisposition to bring forth plants, water, life. One of such people is our good friend Shinra here. He is trying to pen a letter at this point to Ginko to tell him not to come. Again, my grandmother, I don't really want you to be here, that kind of thing. I want to live in isolation. And as he goes to write with his left hand, like kind of words, characters, they come to life and start going off everywhere. Again, these characters, they're based off drawings and real-life things, so you can't really escape that even when writing words themselves. Like, I don't know, I'm right-handed, right? But what if every single time I wrote with my right hand, something fucking bad happened? That'd be an uncomfortable existence, I would think, right? It's more comfortable to write with the left hand. That's an interesting line of dialogue, I feel. Again, he's trying to conceal the powers and whatnot. He's trying to keep them in. He's accidentally drawn something. Quick, scribble these out before they come something, and one of these characters is flying away. Somebody a little bit smarter than me could probably do the kanji for it all as well. Why did this kanji transform into that? That's probably something worth looking into if you're a bit of a Japanese language guy. And again, he broadly just seems kind of annoyed. He kind of grabs at it, that being Ginko, and kind of now he has ink all over his hand. I don't know, again, it really feels like, even though he's kind of predeterminedly showed up here, it feels like he was just happening by, which I feel like is a real tonal thing that I like about it. Yeah, see, I just got completely caught up with the dialogue here. I was writing a reply to decline your request. So he requested you, not somebody from your family requested him. Gotcha. Okay. That's where I got confused in the episode there for a little bit. Yeah, see, this was the part I was talking about. This is a little bit more fearful. I'd be scared of this kind of thing, not these little shitters that have been when we write like letters and stuff. I don't know. Yeah, big chalk zone vibes here. If you know, you know. Now get me out of here. That must be insulting. I'm sorry. Yeah, I don't know. He makes pictures that come to life, and again, we want to conceal this power because we're fearful of how humans may use it, how he may be ostracized by society for doing it. People are scared of things they don't know. Lots of reasons to protect it, as well as, again, as I went into its inherent importance to the Mushi overall. You create our life. I don't think they procreate. I don't know. It's yet to be seen, but if this is our form of life, then we need to protect it, you know? I like this moment here as well. Probably one of the few and far between comedic moments just overall for it. I'd love the show to lean a little bit more into this stuff. Again, we're being very adult at the moment, but I do like a little bit of comedy, a little bit of spice in it every now and again. Kind of, again, Shinra catching on that Ginko's been kind of studying him and researching him just in casual conversation, asking leading on questions, gathering info, that kind of thing. Yeah, it's good. It's good stuff. Again, despite the want not to be researched, he's still not rude, invites Ginko to stay the night. A nice thematic thing for the episode here, as they're staying the night, is drinking a little bit of wine themselves. What does he eat? Question, what does he eat? If he's living by himself, just kind of in the mountains, and he doesn't have an adult around, like, does he have like a little garden or something potentially? Yeah, okay. Let's just say it's that. There's a lot of greenery around. I'm sure it wouldn't be hard to find something to sustain him. That's another really interesting one. Yeah, my grandma always watched out for me. If I can get the line of dialogue up there again. Yeah, she always looked out for me. And then there's a pretty long pause here, just here. So again, knowing what we know about the episode now, she could just be here, just listening in and gathering info and whatnot. Yeah. Again, it's kind of rewarding on the rewatch here. Shinra then hands Ginko a bunch of pieces of paper. Hey, these are some things that I've just seen around, not things that I've just drawn, and he's probably drawn these sketches with his right hand so they don't get generated or whatever, but what's the go with these? Just some cute little guys. But I showed these drawings to my grandmother. I don't understand why you always see these phantoms. Now, this is very tragic, right? Because if, again, the grandmother was a full person and had both the spiritual and the physical side, I believe you could see them, you know? So you just think he's kind of insane or something, and you almost don't remember that full... You remember some of the request, like look after the child or whatever, but you don't even understand the why now? And I feel like that's the satisfying kind of thing that happens in the episode, in my opinion, is finally understanding why you felt so compelled to protect him. Finally getting all the information there when kind of, I don't know, your two sides don't reunite almost, but they kind of do. You know, like the two halves of the cup, they're together again. It feels like I have all my stuff, even if I am a Mushi. Calling for him to forget about the phantoms, how dreadful, just dreadful. Again, the fun part in the episode is herself becoming one of these phantoms. One half of herself has always been one of these phantoms, or somewhere halfway in between. Again, tragedy. And he's just a kid, he doesn't understand why. I don't know, it's just the way he sees things, and you just don't get it. Yeah, it's warm in the cockles now that, you know, everything's come back together. And then we go into a lot of exposition about Mushi and whatnot. Again, really like the metaphor about the hand and the heart and the whatnot. Like humans on the very end of the finger. Very physical, right? But Mushi's something like internal as you kind of follow it into your like very spirit, into your soul almost, you know? Again, I'm really harping on about this, but I love the scale of it as well. Okay, so humans are here, animals are kind of here on the rest of your fingers, and then plant life is your thumb. As you go down, it's like amoeba and like microorganisms and that kind of thing. And then way further down your arm, right inside is Mushi. It gives a nice sense of scale to it and how almost distant Mushi are from us. The other translation there we have for Mushi is green matter. So, yeah, again, green is life. Mushi are life. You know, that kind of thing. Yeah, it's very interesting. Because then it's like, okay, why was the crow like the predator of life? And if they're an animal, right, they're not that far away from a human. So humans almost somewhat predatory to Mushi as well, in some respects. If Mushi are like life essence almost, then humans are always using up life and creating death. Is that anything? I don't know. Weird. Maybe I need more context here. Maybe I need a few more examples before I go big picture on it. Another quick mention here is that some Mushi look like humans. That informs us seeing a human-like Mushi later on, or kind of Mushi, you know, it's semantics. As well as the reassurance that, hey, you know, sensory experiences are hard to be described. You know, this again, the intangibles. It's almost hard to describe this show in a similar way. It's quite intangible the way it makes you feel. To just describe the feel and texture of an object to somebody, it's almost impossible, you know. So again, broad question, but this is probably something that will be explored later on. Who is the special one here? Are you special because you can't see Mushi, or are you special because you can? You know, does general expectation in society say that these things don't exist? Are we going to run into a lot of non-believers, so to say? Or is, again, more likely we're going to lean on you and there's going to be some character that knows what Mushi are? Anyway, Ginko is looking for the bathroom and then he sees a ghostly apparition right there. Oh my god. Now, one question. He goes to grab a needle or something and he doesn't really use it. So, another one in the back pocket. When and if we meet more Mushi, is he going to use this needle, which we call a Mushi pin? Very cool. And yeah, he turns the tables very quickly. He's quite powerful. You're a weakened Mushi in this state as well. So again, I don't even need to use the pin as kind of the implication. Now, this implies some things. Mushi-Shi are things that are known. Are they known to just Mushi, or are they known to everybody? Oh, he's a Mushi-Shi. Look out for him. Is that maybe the vibe? As well as they pin these things up like an exorcist or something. They get rid of them. So does that mean a Mushi-Shi is somewhat an enemy for Mushi? Because it seems that, at least to me, that he's working in tandem with them. He does, like, crush the first one he sees, but, like, I don't know. I feel like maybe they have the rep of just getting rid of these spirits or whatnot, but maybe they're actually a little bit more spiritual than that, or maybe Ginko is, and I don't know. Food for thought, questions, that kind of thing. And yeah, from here we find the half of the sake glass. Our little friend here mentions that it's her house, and then from there he puts it together. Okay, you're the grandma. We have a glass here. I feel like he's already kind of formulated the plan here at this point. The vibes are definitely there in that scene too. Very sparse, very spooky, very dark at night. Just kind of the lantern light buoying it, and kind of in the cold light of day in the morning, telling Shinra what's been going on, talking about the concept of the Mushi banquet, of course, which is again where the sake glass kind of comes into it, and what must have happened for Renzu to be the way that she is. When you drink from the glass, you become an inhabitant of another world, you lose your connection to the physical world. It would have almost been like she just died. But again, I've spoken about this before. If she just died, she wouldn't have had, you know, a son or daughter, and that son or daughter wouldn't have had another child, and we wouldn't have had the kid to begin with. So, kind of what gives, you know? It's almost like the crow was necessary in making the destiny of it all happen, you know? It's there humans are given a sake cup. When humans drink the sake they are offered, they lose the laws of being a living creature, which would be like having children. Again, that's just my 2 cents, which I think is sneaky deep. There's a philosophy there. There's almost a necessary element of, like, the tragedy there, I think. And then, like, okay, we have kind of a Mushi-Shi come in later and kind of connect it again, kind of repair it. Love this as a metaphor here. So again, the banquet must have been interrupted. That's the running theory. But when she returned home, she was no longer the same as before. So again, she would have returned home and left her shoes at the door, or, what you do. One of the shoes here has fallen. There's the half that has been severed. It's into the green as well. It's into the lushness down below, which could represent the Mushi. And that's a very apt little metaphor. Very smart stuff. So the grandmother that you knew over here was only half of herself. The other half was watching over you over here. But again, because her... So Shinra can see Mushi, but again, the tragedy here is he never knew about this half because you're not a full Mushi. Which again probably implies that Ginko can see Mushi a little bit better than you can as well. Yeah, again, since she isn't fully Mushi, you can't see her. Yeah, okay. So again, she's always been watching over him in spirit. He just didn't know that. But again, if we use your power now, your power to create life and your specialness, your destiny, the reason behind kind of Renzu's presence at that banquet even to begin with, then we could fix things. Fantastic. Once again, I didn't really get the sense in the reaction that there was a proposition here. It's like, do you really want to do this type stuff? So, on the one side, again, Shinra, she can never return to being human again if we go through with this. But I mean, how does that work? What do you mean she could never return to be human? She's dead in a ditch over there. Of course she can't. Now having the ability to see her and for, Renzu to then see him and to converse and stuff, isn't that already equivalent to being a human regardless? At least it is in my view. I don't know. I don't really feel like there's much of a risk here. She's obviously all for it, and what's the downside for him? Yeah, once she does, she will never be able to return to our world. She's dead. I didn't think that she could. I don't know. Potentially there's more there that I'm missing. So what's the thing about not wanting... to be seen drawing? Is this again respecting the grandmother's legacy and whatnot, and her not wanting to, expose the sun and that kind of thing? And then he's kind of disrespecting the wishes by poking a hole in and having a look? Is that the vibe? Because if so, that's kind of funny. Once again, I really like the part here where it's like, okay, I'm not going to tell you the size or the shape of the glass or whatnot. You just have to kind of interpret it yourself. And, lo and behold, it was the exact same one. Again, this sense of destiny to it, this sense of, again, what was said at the banquet actually being, tangible and real. He is special. He does have this power, that kind of thing. The color green seems very important here again. The kind of tip of his brush there turns green, kind of automatically. He gets the feeling that the glass is green. The glass comes to runneth over with the corky, which is the life essence, which is the green, which is the, that's all... It's all hitting. It's all hitting good. It's all connecting. So he kind of draws the glass. Ginko looks over. He's like, oh, that's awesome. Then one half of it disappears. That's when we get Renzu to drop the other half down. By which then Shinra recognizes that she's been here all along. I like this paired with a little bit of a gust of wind there. Like, again, it's like she's moving through and we can't quite see her. Very similar to the intro to the episode. From here, half the glass is filled with the liquid. We hand it to Renzu. She now finishes drinking it and we can actually fully see her. She has become fully Mushi. I like the surprise here from Shinra as well, seeing his grandmother as a child. He would have never seen that just because of how reality works. So again, of course, it's kind of surprising. So then he has some celebratory sake and then experiences his grandmother's memories. And I'd like to think that this just happens upon her and she doesn't really understand why. So she sees the little Mushi dudes on the ground. She's like, oh yeah, Mushi, that's sick. And she's kind of following them around for a bit. They all become kind of integrated. Oh, I loved that cut there from kind of them walking on the ground and then looking up, and lo and behold, I'm already in the kind of procession. I'm already in the line. I feel like that's pretty well done. Again, it just feels like it really happens upon her. Another crucial piece of information there is that she can now see Mushi. So when she gets severed, that's when she can't see Mushi anymore after that point. And then again, she's pretty young here, right? So her experiencing this here, then through time, the memory fades about the specifics, but she kind of remembers the central conceit, which is protect the grandson, almost in the back of her mind. Like, there's another really nice piece of depth there, I feel. Like, I'm doing this without really understanding the why of it. Yeah, this sequence here is the best sequence in the episode by far, in my opinion. Just, again, the procession, the swaying back and forth, the sense of intrigue and mystery to it all. I didn't really know what was happening. The passing of the glass, the banquet itself, her being the guest of honor. It's a fragrant golden liquid. When I drink it, I lose the ability to think. Kind of like alcohol. But it's also life, of course. What you are drinking is a living entity called Korki, the sake of light. It normally dwells deep in the darkness and forms an enormous stream of light. So it's the light within the darkness. The darkness being nothingness, the absence of life, death even. It's kind of appears in there as this kind of stream of light. Through this sequence, I can really feel the manga of it all as well, that it is a manga adaptation. It really feels like this feels like a panel. This feels like a full page panel, you know what I mean? It is the green of the earth that has been here forever, and we're giving it to you in the here and now for a special reason. Again, the reason why we're giving it to you, the reason why we're treating you so well. 31 years from now, your grandson will be born with a special power. It's a special power that can help create things, create Mushi, create life. So hey, I think it'll be best for everybody if he stays in isolation. Can you do that for us? And look over him. And then again, drink and don't stop. However, she gets interrupted. What would have happened if she didn't get interrupted? Would she have passed on? I don't know. Again, that's a query, that's a question mark. I feel like it's deep either way. Once again, I like that these big guys are made up of the little guys. It gives credence to the whole kind of metaphor of the hand and the heart and the everything from before, from the microscopic level to the kind of galactic level. This is kind of the essence of life in the same way. You know, from the smallest parts to the biggest parts, you know? And then, yeah, she kind of wakes up from her little dream. However, at that point, the split occurs. Look, ready? Part of her was always still drinking. Part of her just passed on to the physical realm. Shedding tears at that point, at the split here, and Shinra feeling those same feelings as experienced through the memory. The tears flowing into the glass ever same, almost connecting the water of life with the tears of the boy. Again, he can create life within himself. The tears, the connection between the two, the grandma and the child, again, like a parental relationship there almost. It's really deep, I think. Like, tears flowing into the glass from the memory, from the tears, it's like a circular kind of logic to it. I don't know, am I making sense? I feel like I'm rambling. I feel like I'm going insane. It's only episode 1. But this is really cool. Shinra's tears would not stop. They continued to fill the glass ever more. He felt the emotions of Renzo at that time flowing into him. The glass then overflowed and spread and made even more green all around him the next day. The same way the tears ceaselessly flowed, the Korki did too, into the ground there. And look at him, he's fucking drunk as a skunk. At that same location the next day, we can see how different the color palette is. The green of the morning as well. I like how the light plays off of these kind of environments in different ways. In kind of contrast to this kind of rich green we have here, let's go back to when, well, here for a start, that's a kind of duller green. It's almost like it's kind of gone a little bit cold, you know? It's an kind of like an overcast afternoon effect on it. I really wanted to highlight this one and the colors kind of here, like the reds and the greens together, like the kind of afternoon sun of it all. The delineation here feels like that's telling the story of the split almost as well. The green and red, you know? The light and the dark. Something. The kind of sunset. The point at which we're connecting light and dark too. Lots of stuff. Lots and lots of stuff if you want to look for it. And yeah, the episode here ends with Ginko kind of going on his merry way. Shinra may get lonely though. Whatever, but he's got somebody looking over him now. Somebody that he can actually see. I don't think it's necessary for me to be involved any longer. That's another fun kind of, progression in the episode for Renzo as a character. She starts off extremely protective of Shinra, and then Ginko kind of gets accepted by the very end. We see that he means no harm in all of this, you know. Goes from telling him to stay away, telling him to go away, protecting the child, to asking him to stick around and be his friend and whatnot. However, I get the feeling that's not the way that Ginko rolls. He's already said goodbye without even saying goodbye. He just goes, you know. Again, definitely that kind of classic, episodic, kind of wanderer type story to him, I feel. However, he still gets his. I took a little prize. Green sake cup. Maybe he'll collect a prize from each and every one of these little scenarios as well. Once again, I feel like the story, upon watching it again, revealed a lot of extra depth. And again, it's very crucial for establishing concepts, Mushi, Korki, the greenness, Mushi Banquets could even come back maybe. Yeah, just a really, really cool tone setter and sneaky lore deep if you want to look for stuff. So yeah, I mean, I really liked it. And the ED's just kind of a black screen with the credits and a really pretty song. So not much to say here in the ED department. A little bit of greenness and kind of we get a little bit of preview there at the very end too of what the next episode will be. But yeah, I mean, I guess we'll leave that there. That was very good. Obviously, I knew it was going to be very good and it was. Yeah, I like the way the show makes me feel. I feel like that's my big takeaway. I feel really calm, and that's good. I feel like that's intended. Iyashike, of course, that being the intention there. Healing anime, of course. And yeah, I found some nice philosophy in there too. Life and death and destiny and, connection severing, or not severing, kind of repairing severed connections. I don't know. Again, you saw the video. You know what I think. Next episode, we'll try to aim for 2 a week, but we'll see. It is a very long show too, so again, if the episodes do start to kind of thing together, potentially there's room for doing even more. I don't know. I'm open to anything. But yeah, for now, 2 thumbs up, as I said. Patreon if you want to see what next week has on offer as well. From there, I'll leave it. Thank you for watching. I'll catch you next time. Ciao. Bye-bye. Mushi-Shi.